Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and the Nashville Predators made a splash last week as David Boyle brings in two more centers, or at the very least forwards, into the fold for the Nashville Predators going into next season. We're going to be taking a look at those pair of signings in this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. And let's take a look at this pair of signings by David Boyle and the Nashville Predators. So good news out of Smashville, as the Nashville Predators have signed a couple of big forwards to their core, and they're not the big names, but they are the bigger names that were in this year's free agency market. And we're going to be taking a look at those guys right now. So, starting things off, we have Erik Haula signing a contract with the Nashville Predators, as Erik Haula signs a 1-year, $1.75 million contract with the Nashville Predators. He's 29 years old, has had a pretty solid NHL career. He has 175 points in over 400 games in the big league. Last season split between Carolina and the Florida Panthers. He had 22 points in 41 games with Carolina last season and put up 2 points in his 7 games with the Florida Panthers last year. He was traded from the Vegas Golden Knights when he signed that big contract a couple years back. The Vegas Golden Knights had to relieve themselves of cap space, as it seems like they do every year at this point. They moved him to Carolina. He played in Carolina for 40 games, went to Florida for the end of last season at the trade deadline, and he's been a pretty solid player. So I think that's a good signing for the Nashville Predators. The other big signing, as one of the bigger names in the free agency market, returns to Smashville, Tennessee, as Mikael Granlund comes back to Nashville. He was once a Nashville Predator. Mikael Granlund, big bucks over here, big money, signs a 1-year, $3.75 million contract to sign with the Nashville Predators. He's a year younger than Erik Haula. He's 28 years old. The Finnish native is a pretty solid player, a former 2010 draft pick by the Minnesota Wild. Both these guys were drafted by the Minnesota Wild, believe it or not. Granlund, 28 years old, 352 points in his over 500 games in the NHL. Last season with the Nashville Predators, he put up 30 points in 63 games. He returns to Nashville after testing the free agency market. Really wasn't getting much traction. May have been a little bit on the Nashville Predators side, seeing what else could be out there to be had. Maybe a Mike Hoffman, maybe Alex Pietrangelo at the time. Who knows? But David Boyle has decided we're going to reinvest in Mikael Granlund, a guy they picked up when they traded Kevin Fiala to the Minnesota Wild 2 years ago at the NHL trade deadline. One of the last trades that we saw with Paul Fenton there in Minnesota, and obviously how he kind of ruined things. And I mean, it ended up working out because now Bill Guerin's up there in Minnesota doing a pretty nice job. But that was one of the last trades when he traded Granlund to Nashville. Granlund comes back to Nashville. I think this is a great signing. This has really helped solidify their center core, or at the very least their forward depth there in Nashville. Just looking at these two coming into the equation, you've got your top two guys already. You got Ryan Johansson and Matt Duchene. They're your top two centers, which I think moving forward they need to be better. Top line, you've got Forsberg and Arvidsson playing with Johansson. Mikael Granlund jumps right in on the second line wing, playing alongside Matt Duchene down the middle and Luke Kunin. A pretty good looking line right there, not going to lie. No homo. Cale Makar, Erik Haula, and Rocco Grimaldi on the third line. So Erik Haula coming in definitely solidifies that center court in the third line, because the fourth line is full of centers playing the wing, some of them. Nick Cousins, Brad Richardson, and Colton Sissons. All those guys can play center. That's a good move by David Boyle. I always talk about GMs that adding guys to your team that can play center, that play the wing and play center. And you've got, let's take a look at the number of centers. Johansson, Granlund, Duchene, Kunin, Haula, Cousins, Richardson, Sissons. You have 12 guys. 8 of your 12 forwards can play center, which I think in a long NHL season, that can be very helpful, whether it's injuries or even just in a game situation. It's the final minute of a game, and let's say Johansson gets thrown out of the faceoff. Well, now you throw Granlund on his line. Granlund can play center as well. So if they need to win that all-important faceoff, it's just more guys that can play the wing, that can jump to the center role. And that's exactly what David Poyle's done with the Nashville Predators. So my opinion of the Nashville Predators has actually changed because of these two signings. That's how significant this was for the Predators. You just added a pretty solid middle six, potentially top six center winger in Mikael Granlund, and one of the more solid bottom six centers in the league in Erik Haula. And I think that really changed things for the Nashville Predators. Their depth just got a whole lot better. And they still have some guys that aren't that great. Grimaldi, Sissons, Cousins. All right, those are depth pieces, could play in the AHL. But Haula and Granlund coming in just makes it that much better for the Nashville Predators. And let's not forget, they still have guys in the pipeline like Eeli Tolvanen, who we still have not seen the growth from. And we still haven't seen the emergence of UC Saros as that full-time starter to kind of take the heir to the throne of Pekka Rinne. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think of the Nashville Predators heading into the 2021 NHL season before these signings, as well as after these signings, signing Erik Haula and Mikael Granlund to one-year contracts? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Make sure to check out our Patreon account for a weekly podcast every Thursday night. We take a look at the latest news around the NHL. Hopefully we'll start doing recaps as well as going into 2021. We are going to start doing live streams on Friday nights, every Friday night. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's go Preds.